Hi everyone. Welcome to another episode of Thoughts on Education. This is an initiative by Collegedunia.com where we try to connect with industry leaders and esteemed dignitaries of various colleges to bridge the gap between the students and the institute itself. So today we have with us Professor Manisha Shelat, who is the professor at MICA who looks after the communications and digital platforms and strategies. So she is also the chair of the Center for Development Management and Communication at MICA. So ma'am, it is great to have you over, and thank you for being a part of this initiative and helping us out in this program of ours. So we'll start off with an introduction of yourself, ma'am.
Sure, and thank you, Tejas, and thank you, Collegedunia, for this opportunity. So, I'm Manisha Shelat. I'm Professor of Communication and Digital Platforms and Strategies at MICA, Ahmedabad. I also chair MICA Center for Development, Management and Communication, and I'm the editor of the journal that MICA publishes with SAGE, the Journal of Creative Communications. So I play multiple roles at MICA. I have like a long experience in higher education, and I call myself a scholar that has not distanced herself from society, So I believe my scholarship is global in scope, but very much locally engaged. And the area of interests are communication for social impact, gender, digital cultures and new media, especially digital cultures of young people, media literacy education, qualitative research, and social and behavior change communication. So I come to these areas from my two specializations. So my first PhD was in education, and I've always been interested in communication, but my first PhD was from the education field and from the MS University of Baroda. And I worked on gender sensitization with adolescents for my first PhD. After that, I worked for years, and my second PhD I did at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. And there my focus on digital cultures, especially civic cultures. And I worked with women, who use internet to connect globally with other women, over the issues they are interested in. So how women use internet for civic engagement was my focus. And I've always been a scholar practitioner in the area of media literacy and media education, media and information literacy. So those have been, my areas of interest. At MICA, I teach several courses like digital cultures, qualitative research, and I also do work like capacity development program, academic writing and research.
Great, ma'am. Thank you so much. So moving on, what are the key factors that have kept you connected to the education sector?
Yes, there are several factors, but the first that comes to my mind is that you're constantly surrounded by young people. So I think that really appeals to me because they bring you really fresh global perspectives, and you keep learning so much from them, right? So they keep you mentally agile and on your toes. Also, you also feel the satisfaction that you are making positive impact in somebody's life. So that is very satisfying. Also, if you are in a good institution like MICA, being in the higher education field gives you a scope to work from all levels, right from local to national to global. And then you feel that you are really contributing to the global and local transformation in a positive way. And then the other thing is that this sector also gives me a very diverse way of engagement. So, I write, I teach, I do research. I also do a lot of outreach, so meet people outside my institution a lot, So I would say that there has never been a dull moment. If you are in higher education field, there is never a dull moment. And of course, another very practical appeal for me is also the flexible working hours and the flexibility it gives. So like so sometimes we joke that, in education, they say that, you can work anytime you like. And that means you practically work all the time. But I like it because I can work when my mind is, at its sharpest without like a 9 to 5 constraint. So that is another appeal.
That is great, ma'am. And the point about practicality which you have put in, that is true, because when we are teaching students, or maybe when we are researching, we want our focus to be solely on that and not be distracted with some other issue or some other responsibility. So having that freedom also helps a lot. So
Yes.
moving on, how does the curriculum of MICA ensure the best practice of the industry?
So see, MICA has always maintained a very strong connection with the industry. And unlike many institutions in our country, at MICA, we refresh our curriculum every year. So we have an intense curriculum retreat where faculty is there, we invite student representatives, we invite alumni, and we invite leaders from the industry. And every year we have the discussion on how to keep our curriculum relevant to the best practices in the industry. Right? So that really helps. Also, MICA places a lot of emphasis on what we call experiential learning. So all the knowledge that we give at MICA is not bookish. So there are projects, there are internships. We encourage our students to participate in various competitions, where they can really apply their skills. So that also keep them very relevant. And the third thing is that many industry leaders love to come to MICA as guest speakers and guest faculty. So they always bring in the cutting edge knowledge from the industry. And on the other side, MICA encourages its own full-time faculty to be completely up to date with global trends. So whatever, in a way of research, or MICA even supports internship for faculty. So if you think that, there is something happening in the industry which you want to learn, you get full support. So MICA faculty keep totally up to date with what is going on in the field.
That is true, ma'am, because the world of communications and marketing is very dynamic, and you have to keep yourself abreast with what is working these days and what is not working these days, and what is it that what are the changes which are being brought in to this industry as well. So and you being one of the top-notch colleges out there, so of course it would make sense to revise your curriculum every year. So what do you think your roles and responsibilities to the college and to the students are?
Right. So I would say that my very first responsibility is knowledge creation and knowledge dissemination. So I give lot of importance and I pursue my research and teaching very seriously. Right? I give them my full energy, full commitment, and full time. But at the same time, I also believe that it is my responsibility as a university professor to preserve certain values. Like values like critical thinking, sensitivity to social justice, sustainability, and the importance of resolving conflicts without violence in a non-violent ways. So I think my responsibility is also to inculcate these values in my student. And I would say my third responsibility is also to the larger society, because, in such a good institution, there is so much of cutting edge knowledge that is being generated. There's so much expertise, right? It would be very selfish if we don't share it with the larger society. So through my work in CDMC, the Center for Development Management and Communication, through my writing and capacity building programs, I also make sure that, that the competence and expertise is shared with the larger society.
Ma'am, that shows how much of an educator, ma'am, the qualities of an educator are, inculcated in you. Even though you're saying that you want to share whatever you learn with the society as well. So that is actually a very great, quality, and I really do appreciate that. So, what do you think should be MICA's top priorities over the next 10 years?
Okay, so you know that next 10 years is a long time when you look at how quickly the world is changing. But whatever changes, come to the world, I think our top priority should be to contribute leaders to the world. And by leaders, I don't only mean, business leaders in the top position. Of course, that is very important, and we have been doing it. We have contributed, business leaders, and they are working in the top positions globally, India, outside. But we should also contribute by leaders, I mean thought leaders, transformation leaders, like innovation leaders, entrepreneurs, who will not only seek jobs, but who will create jobs. Right? I think those should be our priorities, looking ahead. And we have to create leaders, and MICA has to take a lead in this, that, we create such high impact leaders that they create value and wealth on one side, and they also respect people and planet. And that they can compete with the best in the world. So I think that should be our priority in the next 10 years.
That is true, ma'am, because now people are, becoming entrepreneurs, and they are thinking that they want to start something of their own. And this has become, some sort of a norm right now, that when students have the skill set to, do something, why do it for someone else when they could be doing it for themselves and creating more jobs, of course. So when
improvement and support, right, that the institution should give.
True. So what would you like people to know about MICA which they might not be knowing?
Yeah, okay, so one thing I would like everyone to know, that MICA's curriculum has so many experiential learning initiatives, that they might not know about. So of course we have had rural immersion for a long time. So our students would go live in a rural community, experience that life firsthand, right? Do research. But we now also have international immersion, for example. So our students also get a very global exposure. Also, we have started new initiatives like an urban impact, project-driven initiative called My Impact, and also we are supporting entrepreneurship in the big way. So these are new things happening at MICA, which a lot of people might not know. Also, our master's level program, PGDM, PGDMC, and our 1-year crafting creative communications are very well known in the country, like for more than 2 decades. But we also have an equally strong doctoral level program, FPM, the fellow program in management. And this program, with a very high research impact, combined with an annual international conference that we do at MICA, that is really contributing to global scholarship. And I would really like people to know this. And then, yes, I would also want people to know about the several centers of excellence that MICA has on pedagogy, on marketing research. As I said, I chair one of those centers, Center for Development Management and Communication. So these are centers of excellence, which would, to a good student, give a lot of exposure to areas of her or his interest.
So there are a lot of initiatives which MICA undertakes for the overall development of a student. So you're told that there is rural immersion, there is global exposure, there is a Center for Entrepreneurship. So all of that may not be the features which many other colleges, do offer. And uh, being in the communications industry, being in touch with all the levels of the social economic class of people, or maybe all the citizens of a nation and maybe the globe as well, should be there to give them an overall perspective and idea of what is it that people think about and what makes them tick. So all of these experiences are truly actually helpful for people. So what do you see as MICA's greatest strengths?
Okay, to me, MICA's greatest strength is this unique blend of courses that we offer. And sometimes to a layperson, they might look like the North and the South Pole. Because see, we have a creative storytelling, and at the same time, business analytics or data analytics, right? We teach them about luxury branding and consumer behavior, but at the same time about sustainability. We encourage like digital startups, but at the same time teach them about how large media businesses and media houses are managed. So, a blend of these seemingly opposite domains, I think is very unique to MICA, I would say. Also, the interdisciplinarity in our curriculum, it's truly interdisciplinary. We don't train our students in silos. And then we give a lot of emphasis to creativity and sensitivity in our curriculum, but without compromising on developing the hardcore skills and competency, which any student would require in a competitive global market today. So we want that, our students have those industry skills, but they would stand apart in a crowd. And I think that's MICA's unique aspect, the edge that we have.
That is true, ma'am, because every college would want their students to, be representing their college as well, because when they're industry, they're representing the college as well. And when they do stand out, it sets apart a good impression for the college itself. And more talented people would also want to be a part of MICA, and also more people would want to be would want to join MICA. So that is true. So what are some of the biggest challenges that you see, both for the higher education in general and for MICA specifically?
Yeah, okay. So first of all, let me talk more generally. So see, the thing is that if we want to keep higher education relevant to the industry, right? Like we want to make sure that our students have the best of the training, we have the best of the faculty, we give them the best of the resources. And then at the same time, we want to keep higher education affordable for the larger masses. That is a huge challenge. Because, quality higher education requires resources on one side. And at the same time, we want to make sure that it doesn't just remain, out of reach for most people. So I think this is going to be one huge challenge coming on. The other challenge I see, and this is again general and also, with respect to MICA, is that, see, we want to prepare students for the job market. So you will see in a lot of institutions, what we call like soft courses of language and culture and aesthetics and social impact, humanities, cultural studies. These are gradually, shrinking. So a challenge is that, yes, we need to have competent people for the future job markets, but how do you preserve, space for all these finer things, critical thinking, like the finer values and qualities of life. And if that space is not preserved, I think higher education institutions would not be doing the job that they ideally should be. And this is going to be another challenge for any good institution.
That is true, ma'am, because higher education in the nation is a bit of a struggle for people to, gather. So it has not been very accessible to a major part of our country and maybe a lot of students as well. And
Yeah, higher education, right?
yes, 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 yes.
There are
And
so many colleges in every nook and corner, but we know that they don't offer quality higher education.
that is true. That is true. Quality is something which is lacking, and uh, that in general is of course being bringing in the affordability part would also be a different thing altogether. But as you said that another target is the employability of the students, which many corporates have been complaining about, that the people which we are getting are for our selections are not employable enough, or maybe they do not have the skill sets which they would be requiring. So that has been a issue which the corporates are also highlighting for some good amount of time right now. So that also is one challenge which education institutes would want to tackle. So my last and final question: any suggestions which you would like to give to the current youth and to the aspiring students, ma'am?
Okay, the first thing I would tell them is that make the most of your college days, make the most of this precious time, and I would say that experience life beyond books. So one thing I tell all my students is that get out of your comfortable echo chambers where you only hear about your kind of views, you only meet people who are leading your kind of lives, right? That is what college is for. It's like go out, seek life, seek experiences. That would be my one advice, definitely. The other thing is that dream big, go after your dreams, but at the same time help others around you realize their dreams. Because I can say that a healthy business, and I recently heard this from an expert, I forgot the name, but it really struck me that a healthy business can only thrive in a healthy society. So you can never find, or experience true joy in life if you are surrounded by people who are unfulfilled, right? Or who are unhappy. So it's important to chase your own dreams, but it is equally important to help those around you to achieve their dreams. And then finally, I would say that you have to set goals. You have to be after goals. A purposeless life is problematic. But I would also say that, in a hurry, don't be in a hurry to reach a destination, so that you forget to smell the roses on the way, you forget to get enriching experiences, blinded to other things. Because career is a very important aspect of your life, but it is just one aspect of your life. So that would be, my advice to any college student, that use this time to broaden your horizons. Just don't be, just blindly chasing one very limited goal. I think that is what I would like to say.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. And that really was good advice. And that is true that people have to focus upon the goals as well. And they should not forget that they are here to, experience life and enjoy it as well. So it should not be like I'm struggling my whole life to earn money, but maybe achieve my goals and all, but I'm not able to, explore or see beyond that. So that is also one thing which should be clear as well. So thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for being part of this initiative of ours. And I hope the viewers watching this video would have gotten some more insight to the institute and MICA itself. And I hope it would be helping them, get a better understanding of what MICA is all about, and how they approach their concepts, and how is it that they, make people more ready for the corporate world as well, and also for an overall development as well. So thank you so much, ma'am. This is all we wanted to get out of you.
Thank you, Tejas. And I invite you and all the listeners, come visit MICA. It's a beautiful campus.